Hello everybody, and welcome to this month's Iiosia update video. I don't know whether I'll be doing an update video every month, but I don't know if you're aware, but I am updating the blog every month. It's more of a sort of like tangible thing that I can scroll through and see what I did when, sort of thing. The videos are more like announcements for important things, which is why I'm doing this, because there is a semi-important thing that's going to be put on the website today, and that is that I have finished the story that I was talking about last month. I present to you The Boy, a story about Veriax, which is obviously the character that inspired my internet pseudonym. I don't want to go too much into it. I hope the story works well on its own without without some exposition from me, but just so you know sort of what to expect. If you missed last month's update video on it, it's set on Alderaan, which is set after Iiosia, and it's sort of like a bastardized version of our world, where I've taken the bits that I wanted and thrown away bits that I didn't, and so it's different, but there are very similar things within it, and yeah, that's all you need to know. And just so you know, that's sort of what the story it is. It's kind of like a crummy B movie of a story, I think. But I enjoyed writing it a lot. I finished it yesterday. Some of you who follow my YouTube channel may have noticed that I didn't upload a video yesterday, and that is because even though I've had the last week off work, I have spent most of that time writing this, and now it's done. Hooray! I'm going to give it another read through before I plaster it all over the channel and the website, but it's going to be up there pretty soon, I imagine. Well, when I upload this, because I haven't uploaded this, as I'm recording this before I upload it. Might be a bit soon because it could be a bit rough around the edges, but I'm going to put it out there anyway because I said I'd do it this month, and I will. And, if you guys spot any mistakes and there will be some mistakes, then, you guys have probably more chance of seeing them than me, regardless of whether I reread it today or in 6 months' time or whatever. Because I probably just read what I wrote. Whereas you will, read what I think I write, whereas you guys will read what I wrote. And, yeah, there may be a few things in there that don't really make sense or whatever. I would love to hear your thoughts on it if you do read it. I'd like to stress that. Be honest about it, and let me know what works and what doesn't, and what bits you liked and what bits you didn't. If you read it, like I say, 53,000 words, I don't think is overly long for an avid reader, of which I aren't. But if you do read it, then please let me know what you think of it, because I would greatly appreciate some feedback on The Boy. Talking a bit about sort of the process of writing it. After last month's video where I said I'd finish it within a month and I had plenty of time to do it, I kind of stalled for whatever reason. I can't remember why. I didn't do anything on it for about 2 months. I booked this week off work with the idea of actually finishing it, sad as that sounds, so I'm glad that I did. Real life getting in the way and all that. But I do write better when I don't have to deal with work on a day, and it's not like my work is particularly busy or particularly stressful, because it isn't, but it just gets in the way. So yeah, I don't know, it's a psychological thing, but I'm far more productive on weekends and at times like this when I took a week off work. So I wouldn't say it was a rush, because it wasn't. I didn't rush it, and I took the conscious decision to say to myself, if I don't get it finished at the end of the month, fair enough, but I'll keep plodding on with it because I still have the weekend to get it done before I go back to work, and I can, I was fine with just doing things, plodding along, but I did get it finished. The book's in 3 parts, and the third part is a lot shorter than the other 2. Even having said that, though, the book's still a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So I'm not sure what that means. I don't know whether I should just get rid of the parts, because there's like, part 1, part 2, part 3, or not. Again, if you read it and you find they don't really work that well, then fair enough. But I didn't rush it. I didn't rush the ending, because the ending does drag out for a bit more than I drag out. You know, that's not really the term I wanted to use to sell the story, but it does last a lot longer than I thought it would do. I thought it would be about 20 pages shorter than what it was, because I got to a stage where I was like, no, I don't think it needs to end yet, and I just kept going with it. I did something I don't normally do with this. I did a couple of things. First one is all these notes. Notes aren't particularly an unusual thing for me to do. My writing is utterly terrible. I don't know if you can make it out, but it is goddamn awful, my writing, especially when I handwrite for just me, and I have no intention of anybody else reading it. I had all these scraps of paper on my desk everywhere, and it was so nice to clear them away. That's just a little tidbit that I want to put in there. It's so nice to have a clean desk, which is what I have now. It's just so, you know, it's liberating. So the notes aren't important. I'm going to keep the notes, because obviously when I'm like a mega star in terms of writing and everything, they'll be worth quite a lot of money, and I can flog them on eBay and make a couple $100,000 off them, even though no one will be able to read them because my writing's awful. But even so, they'll be a relic that will be put in some museum, obviously. But what I really wanted to talk about was these. This is something that I haven't done before, which is basically just write different plot elements and characters on pieces of paper, cut them out, and just arrange them and organize them as they relate to each other. I was kind of struggling towards the end of the book to find some sort of missing element that I needed. I wasn't sure where to put it. I didn't know how it fit in. So I did this. Only took about half an hour or so to figure it out, because it did work very well, this little sort of practice. And I do... If you don't do this, I advise that you do, because I will be in the future doing this little thing where I just put little pieces of paper around and move them around, see how things line up and what should go with what and whatever. It did work very well, and it gave me the gap that I needed to fill, and I thought about something to fill it with, and I think it worked pretty well. I won't go into what that was in the story, at least, you know, not yet. I might in the future, but it did work pretty well. And the third little thing I want to talk about with this story was the fact that I had a secret weapon when I was writing it. Because when I write, I have found that I can't just sit down and write for 2 or 3 hours non-stop. I can write maybe, it could be anything from a couple of lines to a page, or even longer. But as soon as sometimes I'm just like, it's not there anymore, what am I doing? And I have to get up and leave the computer. And I live alone, and I go into the front room, away from my computer, and I talk to my goldfish. There he is. He's a little bit camera shy. His name is Skipper, and I talked to him quite a lot over the past few days. When I was just going through in my head what I was trying to do with this scene, or where the story was going, or whatever. Even though I had it written down, I found it so much better to vocalize my thoughts, and it just happened to be to a goldfish. It could be for you if you're a writer to a person, or to a teddy bear, to a lamppost. I don't know, but to me, the goldfish worked. Now, don't ask that goldfish anything, by the way, because he will spoil the whole thing for you. He knows everything that happens in the second half of the book. It really does. It just really helped to vocalize, and it just happened to be a goldfish. So if you're ever stuck or whatever and you're writing, I would advise, as well as the pieces of paper thing that I've already mentioned, a much more easy thing is to vocalize your thoughts. If you do it to a person, they're probably going to talk back. I'm going to warn you about that. And they'll probably give you ideas and such, and opinions, which you might not necessarily need or want, because you're just going through your thoughts in your head, and then you're having this other thing coming in there going, what if you do it this way? And you could be like, that's the best thing ever. Or you could be like, no, get away. But either way, it's an influence you might possibly not want. I'm just sharing my thoughts with this. I don't want to sound like preacher or anything, because you know, I've so far there are now 2 books, 2 novellas, I suppose, finished on the website. So far, I haven't been particularly productive when it comes to writing, and I still have a hell of a lot to learn. But I'm just sharing my experiences of it with you as I basically learn it. So there's the three things. The notes, basically they were just nice to clear away. That was lovely. The little scraps of paper to sort my thoughts out in a visual sort of way. And the goldfish, or the muse, if you like, where you just talk to whoever or whatever there is. So the boy is now up there. It's sort of like in second draft sort of stage, because I've gone through it again. But I would like your thoughts and opinions on it, so please give me them. What's for the future? Well, I did say that I would have a look at RPG Maker, and I probably will just have a little dabble with that. Going to take a little break from actually tippy-tappy writing for a couple of days, not for too long. But yeah, and I'll work on some small little things, like articles for website and stuff like that. But the last couple of days have gone really well for me, and I don't feel drained at all. I feel it's going pretty well, and I'm honestly quite happy with the way I think the story has turned out. So I do await your thoughts on it if you read it, and I hope you do, with bated breath. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much just announcing that the boy is out there to read, and my thoughts and experiences on writing it. So, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to me babble on. Hope it was interesting. And I'll see you next time. Cheers very much. Toodaloo.